Welcome to another session of Wild Kingdom Devotions. Today I am going to be talking about the donkey. As I was looking at some examples of Wild Kingdom animals that relate to Christmas, of course the donkey came to me, and a lot of the Christmas stories have donkeys around the manger. As the story shares that Mary was brought into Bethlehem on a donkey in their journey from Nazareth. And when I looked at it a little bit deeper, I realized that the story of the donkey, happened at the beginning of Jesus' life on earth and towards the end as well. It was the donkey he rode in Matthew, the 25th chapter, 1 through 5, as he made his triumphant entry as we celebrate Palm Sunday now. So when we look at the donkey, what can we learn about the donkey? And there's very interesting things about a donkey I want to share with you in the next few minutes. They're a wonderful animal. You can't help to stop and look at them when you see them. Little workers. And there's some valid points I want to talk about lessons that we can learn from this donkey. Now, I do want to say that even though Mary was brought into Bethlehem on a donkey when she was pregnant, and Jesus rode a donkey, I don't think it was the same donkey. Just don't give me. I could be wrong scripturally, but I don't think it was the same donkey. All right. With that said, let's talk about some points about the donkey that I think we could use. The first thing, and they all start with A. The first thing, the donkey has to be accessible. By accessible, I mean that in a place where one can be reached, obtained, or approached. Being accessible is being at the right place at the right time, or being rightly positioned so that one could be used. Accessibility. Does God have access to you? Are you in a position where you can say, God, I want to be used, whatever you need to? The other day, I was talking to somebody on the phone, and we were chatting about our children, and I told him about my daughter being an attorney and what kind of law she does. She does a lot of nonprofit and works with churches. And he goes, "Oh, I have that need. Can I get your daughter's number? I need to get a hold of her." She made herself available. That's the next word, but she's accessible because she's put herself in a position and going through law school to be used for God in the arena of law. And he was wanting to know, how can I get a hold of her? I wonder sometimes if God says, I've got this job for you to do. And does anybody know how to get a hold of Andy? Does God know how to get a hold of you when he has something for you to do? Are you accessible? Are you in the right place at the right time? Or does God have to knock on your door or knock you down just to get you to listen? I want to be accessible. I want to say, God, like the donkey, if you got something for me to do, let me focus enough to be able to do what needs to be done. I have often said this saying, God knows your heart. It's up to us to hear his voice. So God wants to speak to us, and he's got a purpose for our life if we become accessible. The next word I'd like to make is available. By available, I mean able to be used or obtained at someone's disposal, free and or willing to do something. Accessibility and availability are similar words. Accessibility is being at the right place at the right time. Availability says I'm being willing to be used once you access me. Are you available? God, I'm really not available. You've caught me at a bad time. You wanted me to give this money to somebody else, and I really can't afford it now. I got other pressing things. I'd really, really, really not. I'll start giving to you when I feel a little bit more financially comfortable. I will start giving my time when I have more time. God, I will. A lot of excuses, but the donkey was accessible, and he was available. We need to be available for the use of the Lord. Once we're in a place where God can use us, we ought to be willing to be used. Some of us resist that. We will be You will not be satisfied in your service to the Lord until you are available. And the next thing is accommodating. By accommodating, I mean fitting in with someone's wishes or demands in a helpful way, to be cooperative. Right place at the right time, willing to be used, and the accommodating is to cooperate in the right, to act right when you are to be used. Donkeys can sometimes be stubborn. Sounds familiar, right? Humans. They could be stubborn and say, well, I really don't want to do that today. I'm available, but I'm not going to be very accommodating. And I wonder how many times that the Lord has pressed on our heart to do something, and we go, really, God, that's not my thing. I don't like visiting people. I don't like going to nursing homes and hospitals. I don't like going, I don't like to talk to people when they're sad. I don't know what to say to them. God, I really don't like. We tell God what we say we're available, but we're not going to be accommodating. That's not my job description, God. God says you need to be accommodating like the donkey. The donkey could say, wait, I don't carry pregnant women. I set the limit at putting, and that's at night, and that's along those dusty trails from Nazareth to Bethlehem. I just don't do pregnant women. I don't carry them. Or the other donkey could have said, wait, there's a lot of screaming and yelling going on. I don't like a lot of screaming and yelling, and they're throwing palm leaves down. I'm not sure about walking on palm leaves. I'm not going to do it. That donkey was accommodating. And another A word is adaptable. Accommodating and adaptable to what God has for you. If God calls you, he will equip you. And we often do not grow inside of our comfort zone. It's when we get outside of our comfort zone and say, God, I'm usually not this accommodating and usually not this adaptable, but if you want me to do it, I'm willing to do it. I'm accessible and available. And when we get off our donkey and do the work we're supposed to, and by the way, another great story I'm not even going to share today is the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan got off his donkey and went into the ditch to help out the person who was robbed. God, like the donkey, I want to be accommodating, available, accessible, adaptable for you. Help me, God, to do that. Hey, I hope this has been helpful for you today as we continue to talk about Wild Kingdom Devotions. See you next time on Morning Moments.